with people waiting and take that and make it go live. So I have to do that so people notify, and I'm pointing over there because that TV has that live stream on it. But I have to create that so people know that I want to go live, but I can't actually make that one go live, so I end up doing a secondary one. My apologies for anybody that's waiting over there or who misses me starting. But I wanted to say hey to everybody. Happy Easter. Easter's coming up. I had some news. We got some things going on. I'm finding out my source has teeth. My source is legit on the things that I've been telling you guys. Here, I'm going to adjust this light a little bit here. There we go. Actually, brighten that up a little bit. So my source has been accurate about a lot of things that we're talking about. Even my regional representative for Volkswagen didn't know some of the stuff that this guy knows that he's been telling me. So it's kind of sweet validation there. So a lot of news. We're going to start with the 2025 Tiguan because that's what everybody cares about. 2025 Tiguan. Now there's two kind of stories out there about the Tiguan, and one of them is not going to come to fruition. The one that I'm siding with is the one that says that we're getting the Chinese version of the Tayron with some tweaks, and it's going to be rebranded and named as a Tiguan. That's not what their plan is. They are actually going to do the German-built Tiguan long wheelbase, or the Tiguan Allspace that they have over in Germany. So that car is going to be what we get in the U.S., and it looks like it's going to be delayed. It is not looking like it's going to be here at the time in November or December. Looks like they're saying more like January. So sorry for the people who are kind of waiting on the fence for that, but it looks like maybe January that car's coming. But it's going to have a lot of great, cool stuff. Number one, the interior is going to be super duper upgraded. Number two, the SEL-R-Line is going to have a 15-inch touchscreen. 15-inch. So it's going to have the same size screen as the ID7. And don't know about the ID Buzz, but it's going to have a large touchscreen. So if you look at my video that I had of the ID7, that's the size screen, and that's probably the exact software that car is going to run. The lower trims are going to get the 12.9-inch screen. So they're going to get a bigger screen too, but it's not going to be the big 15-inch monster. Harman Kardon now replaces Fender audio for that Tiguan. So Harman Kardon is going to be your premium audio. By the way, guys, if you could do me a favor, just thumbs up for the video. That way it helps the algorithm. It helps me get a few hundred views on this rather than 7. I mean, you guys care, but not everybody cares about this stuff. It's kind of technical stuff. But just give me a thumbs up if you like the video, like what I'm doing, or even if you like my sweatshirt, if you can see that right there. Harman Kardon audio's coming to the Tiguan. Let's see, what else is coming to the Tiguan? I actually texted myself some stuff here so I could actually pull it up. I'm going to pull up my screen here so we can see some stuff here. Let's see here. Pardon an up close shot there, but my computer's right here in front of me. So there are some things I did not want to forget there. Chat GBT coming to the Tiguan, coming to everything in 2025 allegedly. So we don't want to we don't really know for sure yet, but we're pretty sure that that's going to be the case. Then there's going to be Matrix. I've got my text up here now. So Matrix LED headlights are finally approved for the US. So the Tiguan's going to have those with the IQ lights as well. Let's see. The other thing that is happening, DCC, Dynamic Chassis Control, looks like it's coming to the Tiguan. Let's see, turn signals, the motion turn signals, looks like that's going to be a thing too. Any of these could drop out at any given point, but they could come through. And I apologize if I'm looking off up here. I've got a screen here and a screen here just to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid there. I've got my channel up over here so I can see what's going on there. And then let's see here. I just need to see it up on the screen there. Yep, it's running an ad, so it's going. 2.0T engine, and there's also going to be a hybrid engine, so there's going to be two versions of the Tiguan. We already knew that. Also, there's probably going to be a host of new colors. I would love for them to bring the Tiguan R to the States, but I don't see that happening. Although they are expanding the R brand. So they're actually going to put some investment dollars in. You know about the Golf R, you know about the Tiguan R, you probably know about the Touareg R, and you probably know about the Arteon R. So like AMG for Mercedes, it looks like they're going to invest in the R brand a little bit. And that's also going to bring, that on the EV side or a BEV side, that's going to bring the GTX platform probably into play. And if I were a betting man, I would say that they're going to do same old plain old Volkswagen where they don't bring that to the States. They're going to tease us with it and we won't get it. Let's see. The other things about the Tiguan, long wheelbase, coming from Germany, no longer being built in Puebla. While we're speaking of Tiguan, though, the current 2024 US spec Tiguan, 0% financing on that guy for 60 months, so they're moving a ton of Tiguans, and we didn't think we were going to run through the Tiguans like we are. We had almost 60 of them. We're down to just over 30, I believe. So we got a whole nother month of 0% for that car, and we're selling them like crazy. The SEL-R-Line is really picking up now. The black edition, there won't be one as a 2025 in that new model. There'll only be the SEL-R-Line Tiguan, and I kind of went over what's going to happen there. We have since received 3 new ID4s, the 2024s. However, they're only the standard version, so the standard doesn't have any real changes to it. At least none that we can detect. It doesn't get the new shifter. It doesn't get a new screen. So it's still similar to the 2023. No real difference there. So that's kind of the news that I wanted to get out of the chute there. The Tiguan stuff, that's big news. Looks like it's delayed to January. The hybrid is definitely coming. It is getting built in Germany, not Puebla. Puebla got some upgrades, and that plant is going to produce Cupra, which is another Volkswagen brand under SEAT, I believe, the Spanish brand, and that will be coming stateside from Puebla sometime by 2030, they're saying. So we won't see anything coming out of Puebla other than Jetta and Taos. That leads me to 2025 Jetta. 2025 Jetta's getting a redo. Emblem will light up, LED light bar across the front. These are all alleged things that I'm hearing. Every car will get the new infotainment screen. So it'll be a touch screen, no knobs, buttons like that infotainment screen, at least a 12.9-inch screen. Also, they're all going to get the new key fob, the new Volkswagen key fob. Let's see if I think I have mine with the cover on. This big giant key fob here, I have a cover on that. But this is the key fob that everything gets next year. They're going to universal. So you're going to have the big key fob, the infotainment screen, the illuminated logo, and the light bar is going to be I don't know if it's going to be on all trims of Jetta, but it's going to be on Jetta. I would bet the Jetta S won't have it, but Jetta SE and above may, or they may just reserve it for the SEL. Okay. On that note, I can see Jetta in the pipeline for 2025 now. I think that's a mistake on Volkswagen's part. I don't think they really intend for that to be out there. I don't think that means that they're building the 2025s. But if I can see it as a member of a dealership group, that means that there may be something happening. There may be some movement on that car. I can't tell you when that car will get here, but I do know that looks like the only way you're going to get a Jetta manual will be with a GLI. And the GLI will only have an Autobahn trim next year, judging on what I'm seeing. And the Sport, and the SE will still exist, and SEL, but you won't be able to get a manual transmission in any of those. At least right now, it's not showing up in the system that we have, our web system that I can see. Moving on to Taos. Taos is the other car that's built in Puebla. That's also going to get a refresh. New tail lights, new headlights. Jetta the same. I think they both get new headlights and tail lights on the cars. I think maybe chamber LED headlights are a thing of the past. Chamber LEDs are on all versions of the Tiguan except for the SEL-R-Line. They're on Jetta S, Jetta Sport, and Jetta SE. And the Jetta SEL has a different LED. And then on Taos, they're on all Taoses except for the SEL. So, that being said, I think we're going to see a lot of changes coming up and a lot of content in the cars that's going to make the cars worth the money. ChatGPT, as I said, is coming to most of the cars in 2025. At least that's the plan. And it looks like, oh, my wife spent some money. I don't know if you heard that. That's a cash register sound there. But the Jetta will get refreshed. I think Beats audio is going to go away, and maybe they're going to do Harman Kardon as well in the Jetta. So that means the GLI Autobahn and the Jetta SEL will probably have Harman Kardon stereos in them, since that infotainment screen's coming too, and that's Harman Kardon all the way on the cars that have that. So I got a feeling that Harman Kardon's in, Beats is out. Interiors are going to probably be upgraded as well in the Jettas and the Taos. Another thing that's going to happen with the Taos, I talked about it before, that there was a Taos SE Black coming. It is coming as a 2025. So there will be a Taos SE Black Edition, or not Black Edition, but just Taos SE Black for 2025. Modified headlights or refreshed, and also tail lights, new infotainment screen, new key. The Taos will have a black wheel package plus and a black wheel package as well, and I'm not sure what cars I'm going to assume that that's only going to be for the SE, and the black wheel package plus may be for the SEL. We don't have any information, real information on that either. Let's see. For 2025 also, ID7, ID Buzz. Those two cars are both coming this summer. Not sure which one's going to come first. We keep hearing one, then the other, back to the other, then the other again. So I can see colors now for both ID7 and the ID Buzz. So I'm going to hit my computer screen here and go through some colors here. Let's see here, for ID Buzz, we're going to change some things here. So bear with me here if I'm leaning into the shot a little bit here. I'm going to get some colors up here for you. So colors that it looks like the ID Buzz is going to have. And remember, this is going to be a two-tone car or a solid color. If it has a two-tone, it's going to have a color on the upper and a different color on the bottom. So with the ID7 2025, there's a first edition all-wheel drive, a first edition rear-wheel drive, a Pro S Plus all-wheel drive, a Pro S Plus rear-wheel drive, and a Pro S rear-wheel drive. So the Pro S is only going to be rear-wheel drive, but you can get an all-wheel drive in the first edition and the Pro S Plus. So that's cool. Colors. Blue charcoal with a candy white upper. I believe that's going to be the color like the car. Actually, that's going to be a darker blue, I think, like a grayish blue. And then there's a Cabana blue with the candy white upper. That is like the one in the Chicago Auto Show that I had a video of, that blue one with the white top. I believe that's what that's going to be. Then there's just candy white. Cherry red with a mono silver upper. So that's going to have a silver upper instead of a white one. Deep black pearl effect is also a color. So that's going to be a solid color. That would be my pick. I would pick that one. That's going to look badass. Energetic orange with a white upper. Indium gray with a candy white upper. Now, if you've ever been a Golf R fan, Indium gray was on a Golf R at one point. So that is a sharp color too. With a candy white upper. Mahi green with a candy white upper. And then there's Metro silver. Let's see here. Metro silver with a candy white upper. And last but not least, Pomelo yellow with a candy white upper. Pomelo yellow, I have a GTI video of one of those. That was when the 40th anniversary GTI came out. That was one of the colors that they offered. It's kind of that yellowish, greenish color. So that's going to be cool too. And I'm going to get to questions after I go through this stuff, because otherwise I tend to ramble and do whatever. So I will answer your questions. Don't give up on that. So interior colors are cognac, mistral, and raisin. Not sure about what raisin's going to look like. Or mistral, we've had a Arteon that's had that color. Captain shares are going to be an option. And then that's going to be kind of it for the ID Buzz. Now we go to ID7 here. ID7, I'm going to change it out here. There is a Pro S 4Motion, a Pro S Plus 4Motion, a Pro S Plus rear wheel drive, and a Pro S rear wheel drive. So those are using 4Motion in the name, even though they're an EV, which is kind of interesting. Colors for this: aquamarine with black. I believe that might be what the Chicago Auto Show car was. I have a video of that one too. It looked kind of like a tourmaline blue, but I think that's what that aquamarine with a black roof is going to look like. Glacier white with a black roof, King's red with a black roof, Moonstone gray with a black roof, and Mythos black. Mythos black was what the 2022 ID7 came in. Before they started building them in Chattanooga, when they went to deep black pearl. Your color choices on the interior are going to be black leatherette or gray leatherette. So ID7 is coming soon too. So the other news that I have here, going over these things here and what we saw, Golf R has a change coming. Okay, yes, we know about the illuminated front logo, in addition to the light bars that it already had. We also know ChatGPT, the new infotainment system is going to be in there, and no manual transmission. Now, there appears to be a black edition for the Golf R. That is going to be sexy. I don't care what they do. Take my money, please. A Golf R black edition will be in the works for 2025. Not sure what that's going to look like. Haven't heard anything on that. And then it's just regular Golf R. They're both going to be DSG. And there's going to be two versions of the Golf R. That's going to look sharp. I guarantee it's going to have black wheels, probably the 20th anniversary black wheels or something similar to it. They'll probably keep those around for that. And black mirror caps, I would hope. Not the silver, not blue or anything like that. But, man, I'm sure that's going to look sharp. A Golf R Black Edition. Okay, so we'll skip over that and go to GTI. GTI for next year. All it appears to be is an S. I hope that that is just a temporary thing, and that's just something that, well, wasn't supposed to be out or kind of known yet. But GTI S, that's it. No other Autobahn or SE is showing up in the pipeline as of yet. That could change. This could be all wrong. But that's kind of bittersweet news for me. Of course, no manual again. Right now, you need to get a 380 to get a manual transmission. But ID Buzz, Golf R, GTI, ID7, Jetta, and Taos all show up as 2025s in our back systems now. So that makes me think that, one, they're in production. Two, they're going to start shipping. And three, they're going to start allocating soon. Or they may be storing them in port. Now, you've got a bunch of cars now that are all coming from across the pond, though. Everything I just mentioned, with the exception of Jetta and Taos, is coming from across the pond. So that's going to be interesting. And I'm hoping that there is no ripple effect from the disaster. And we'll say a prayer for the families affected by what happened in Baltimore, but we don't use that port. So I hope we're not indirectly affected by what happened there. But that's gonna take at least 18 months to get that big bridge rebuilt, and that's if they go full tilt, just all hands on deck, building stuff off site, bringing it in prefab, whatever. I've heard 4 to 5 years to rebuild that bridge, and I hope that's not the case. But it doesn't appear that that's going to affect us in any way, shipping wise. We don't use that port. So again, Golf R Black Edition, no manual transmission, the 2025 model. ChatGPT infotainment screen. I don't think there's going to be major other changes other than that. Probably LED matrix headlights, maybe the dancing turn signals or the motion turn signals. And then that's probably it for the GT or the Golf R. I presume it's still going to have a hole in the roof or a sunroof. The GTI, and right now all I can see is an S. So that's kind of that one makes me sad if that's the case. But again, this is all allegations that I come up with because I can see a back screen that most people can't. And then ID Buzz, I went over those trims and the colors, ID7, and then of course the Jetta's getting a refresh. No manual Jetta except for in the GLI, and the Taos gets a black edition and refreshed headlights. So I'm going to change this screen here so I can see what you guys are typing there and then answer some questions there. So just give me a second here. Let's see here. Okay, so questions. Let's see. Okay. G, missed the Jetta update. I'm late. Any idea when a 2025 GLI will be released? Actually, I just touched on that. We can see those cars in the pipeline or the listing. Not okay. When I say we can see the cars, I can't see physical cars as in built units. So we don't know if they're building them yet or not. But we can see that product line or that car line in the system, which means we're probably close. Close to seeing them in the pipeline, and then that's probably another 90 days to 120 days before they start showing up at dealers. But you can't see any inventory, and they purposely block that so you can't see it if they're actually being built. So we don't know whether or not they're being built yet, but the GLI will have a manual or an automatic Autobahn version. The black version stays, it looks like. I can't see colors or anything yet, so I don't know if they're doing any new colors. But we do know that allegedly we're getting the new infotainment screen, ChatGPT, and the new key fob. And it's also suspected that we're going to get Harman Kardon audio for the premium audio for the Autobahn GLI. On Jetta side, they are getting those updates too. All of the Jettas are getting updated headlights and tail lights, illuminated logo on the front. We don't know what trims are going to get those, if that's going to be trim specific or not, and we don't know for sure about the ChatGPT and all of that stuff. But those are all rumors that that's coming. The Taos is getting much of the same. Tony Green, any news on pricing for the Tiguan? No, we haven't heard anything at all about that. They haven't even officially told us that the Tiguan's coming from Germany, although I know that it is. My sources told me that. So we do know that it's coming from Germany, and it will be the long wheelbase Tiguan, the all-space, not the Tayron, not a rebranded Tayron. And we do also know that there is going to be a hybrid. Are there any other questions? I'm taking a drink if you got any questions, let me know. So, I'll just kind of rehash what I have there. If there aren't any other questions, man, I'll make this a short one. I just wanted to get that information out there. But what I'll say, I'm going to go down the product line and just tell you what I know about it. Atlas for 2025. We know absolutely nothing. We don't know that there's going to be any changes to anything at all. Yes, the new Tiguan will be for sure coming in 2025. We do believe that it's delayed till January. We're saying November, December, but I think they're going to delay it till January. They're doing a lot of tweaking and want to make sure to get things right. ChatGPT being one of those things, the new infotainment screens. There are going to be different infotainment screens for different trims of the Tiguan. The lower trim Tiguans are going to have the 12.9. The top of the line one will have a 15-inch touchscreen. There is even a possibility that they may eliminate the Tiguan S. Oh, speaking of the Tiguan S, for 2024, I did mention before, Tiguan S is getting an infotainment upgrade. That's now all that they're building. So every Tiguan S that's currently being built right now, the 2024s, will have the new infotainment upgrade screen. It adds $395 to the window sticker, and I have 3 of them in my pipeline. One of them is about to make it to port. So when I get one of those, I'll make a video of that too. Okay, Atlas Crossport. Still no new news other than the rumor that there's going to be a black edition for the Crossport next year. I'm also starting to hear rumors that there may be a black edition for the Atlas, but I don't hold much I don't hold much faith in that one, because if you look at the Peak Edition, that's already a blacked out Atlas. I don't see them doing a Peak Edition and a black edition, or maybe the Peak Edition goes away and they do a black edition. But that's kind of odd. That I don't see them doing a 1 year run of the Peak Edition and that being it. ID4. ID4 all-wheel drives, 2024s, are being built, but they're not being shipped right now because there's a lot of dealers that have still inventory of 2023 all-wheel drives, and they don't want to cross those with the 2024s because the 2024s have so much new stuff. Kind of like what Atlas did. If you had 2023s on a lot when the 2024s showed up, you had to give away the 2023s or put them in loaner service or something just to get them off your lot. GTI for 2025, I just touched on that. All I can see right now is the GTI-S. I have a hard time believing that there's only going to be an S model for the GTI for 2025, but it will get an infotainment screen upgrade, and it will get Chat GBT and all of that stuff as well. That's rumored to be going through all the Volkswagen models. So Tiguan next year, I did touch on that again. There is a hybrid, 2 different screens, German built, new interiors, and the new key fob. Jetta, again, a new illuminated logo, new front infotainment screen, and Golf R gets the 15-inch infotainment screen, which, oh, here's the other thing. If your car is going to have the 15-inch infotainment screen, it has the backlit sliders. If it goes with the 12.9 screen, I'm not too confident that they're doing backlit sliders on that. Maybe they will incorporate that, but I don't know for sure that they're going to do that because the 12.9 screen already exists, and I don't know. Volkswagen doesn't necessarily do the greatest upgrades to things. I don't know. You have to kind of yell for things, and then they do it. Let's see. And the black color for Golf R and GTI is now Mythos Black instead of Deep Black Pearl. So that was the other change. Let's see. Any chance VW will release their pickup truck in the U.S. for 2025? If you're referring to the Amarok, probably not. The chicken tax is still real. However, with Scout being in South Carolina, they're building that plant now. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a pickup truck, a VW branded EV truck for the States, because they want very much to be in that market, the pickup truck market in the U.S. Now, with a plant in South Carolina, they can build that car. They can build it at the Scout plant because the Scout plant's going to build EVs and electric trucks and electric SUVs. So what's the difference between adding an electric pickup truck to that line with a VW badge on it? So that's quite a possibility. Plus, you have Chattanooga that can expand, but will take a couple years to expand if they did decide to do that. So that would put that rollout later, like 2030. But they also invested money in Puebla to make room for Cupra, which is another EV brand, EV only brand that Volkswagen had, or Volkswagen Group owns under the Seat label. But that won't have dealers. That'll be direct to consumer, just like Scout will. So there won't be dealerships for either of those, but there'll be plenty of production space because now the Tiguan is back in Germany, and now the Puebla plant is only building Taos and Jetta for the States. Let's see here. Any new promotions or incentives coming soon? The 0 for 60 is nice, but I'm not interested in a Tiguan. 0 for 60 runs through April 30th on Tiguan. 1.9 for 60 months on Atlas. It goes to 4.9, I believe, if you want to do 72 months on the Atlas. That's not published anywhere, but I think that's what that goes to. Let's see. And Taos is 1.9 for 72. It's either 1.9 or 2.9. I think it's 1.9 for 72. I've heard a lot of tech issues with the new 24 Atlas. I want one, and I have a Tiguan SEL-R-Line now, but love it. But have you heard of any big issues for it? They aren't big issues. That touchscreen It glitches like you would expect it, just like having an iPad or something else. The screen can freeze. You can start up the car. It might have a purple screen, but a hard reboot always fixes it. That's touching and holding the power button and resetting it. Um, the one issue that I did have with one customer that had an Atlas, and I've sold a ton of 24 Atlases. Just look at my page, my Instagram page or my Facebook page, and you'll see I'm rolling 24 Atlases. Our dealership is actually in danger of running out of Atlases. We're selling them so fast now, which is kind of weird because after COVID and everybody in the world told you not to buy a car, the economy was slowing down, prices were too high, and interest rates were too high. All of a sudden, we can't keep Atlases in stock. We're almost down to pure peak editions, and that's it. The only one, I had one Atlas that had an issue with it where the screen, where when they installed the screen, it was like maybe a, you know how they put spacers, those little foam spacers and things between electronics and parts so the part doesn't rub up against something and scratch it or whatever. One of those was triggering a finger touch, and the screen was just tap, 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 tap all the time, and the screen wouldn't shut off. But we put a new radio in it, and it fixed the problem. So no major issues, and it is the first year of that screen on the Atlas, but that screen, or a screen similar to that, is already in effect in the ID4 and the Golf R and the GTI. So a lot of those kinks are already worked out. I would say if you want a 24 Atlas, go for it, because what's happening at my dealership, and this is something I want to touch on here. What I'm seeing at my dealership, and I'm having the best month I've had, probably the best month ever. I sold 12 cars in 1 week at my dealership, and that's a 5-day week because we're closed on Sunday and I'm off on Thursday. So in 5 days, I sold 12 cars. I sold 5 in one day, 4 another day, and then one day I didn't sell any, or actually I sold 1 each day, and had a couple extras. So there was that. People are starting to come in now who compare it to the Palisade and the Telluride, and the Atlas is winning, and I mean winning strong. The interior, the infotainment, the ride of the car, everything, just the interior space, the ambient lighting, even the illuminated logo. It's a gimmick, I get it, but people love that. People are digging that, and people are buying that. So Atlases are flying out. I'm selling them. I sell at least an Atlas a day, at least, just me. And there's five salespeople in my building, and then I'm in a complex with 2 other brands in separate buildings, and their salesmen bring people over and sell Atlases. Like, for instance, I have a Mazda dealer next door to us. Same brand. It's also Bommarito. They have the CX-90. It's at 80, probably 90% of the people who cross-shop between the Atlas and the CX-90 buy the Atlas. 90%. And they're Mazda customers. Because that back seat in the CX-90 isn't really usable. Don't get me wrong, that CX-90 is a gorgeous vehicle, but 60 grand for that car is a little over the top. And it doesn't have a functional third row. So, with that being said, Atlas is selling like crazy. I've uploaded a few videos where we had Atlases triple parked 3 deep in the back, and all of a sudden we're down to a half row of Atlases. That's it. And they ship them by train, so they take 4 to 5 weeks to get to us now, when they used to take 48 hours for us to get them. So that's another issue. Let's see. You're welcome, Zoe. So is the Tiguan getting redesigned for 2025? Yes, it is. I've mentioned that a couple times. It's getting a total new redesign. The German version that you're starting to see over in Europe as a 2024 is what we're getting in a long wheelbase version. So if you look at a German Tiguan All-Space, that is going to be what we get here. It won't be called an All-Space. It'll just be a Tiguan, and it will be built in Germany and shipped over here. It's got massive upgrades, interior, infotainment, technology. Everything's updated on the car. If you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll see that. So they are basically giving away Tiguans in the Southeast. Everyone is waiting for the 2025. Do you know that for a fact? People are waiting for the 2025. Is that for real? I mean, seriously, that sounds surprising because I don't think people knew that was existed. Other than me talking about it, I don't think people know that the 2025 is such a game changer. Um, let's see. I wanted to get a 2025 GTI for the better infotainment, but I need a car now, so I'm probably going to get the 24 GTI SE. Yeah, I'm seeing 2025 on the back screens, but I don't see the cars. But the fact that I can see it on the back screens makes me think that they're going to start building that car soon. But I don't think it's going to be soon enough for you to get to wait for that car. I don't know if your car's a lease or something you got to turn in. Um, but yeah, I got a feeling we're going to get a huge push for 2025. They're probably doing this to kind of get a bunch of new products out to the market to kind of steal some market share from some other brands. Um, and why wouldn't you? I mean, you're coming out with the 2025 Buzz, you're coming out with the 2025 ID7. Why not throw in some internal combustion or ICE engine cars in there too? A 2025 GTI, 2025 Golf R, Taos, Jetta, and I won't be surprised if the 2025 Atlas starts showing up in there too. I'm not hearing anything about it, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was. Um, Herman, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Anybody else got any questions? I've answered a lot of questions. A lot of the questions on the Tiguan's. Again, we think of January is when they're going to show up. Oh, and auto show reveal wise, they're not going to show up in New York. It's not going to be at the New York Auto Show. It's going to reveal at the LA Auto Show is now what we're hearing. Excuse me, I got mucus in there. Hey, Fritz, what's going on? You're late, buddy. So the 2025 Tiguan's got a whole bunch of stuff coming. Let's see. Trying to think what else I could talk to you about. Jettas. Man, we have a ton of them. If you're looking for a Jetta for your kid or something like that, I've got a bunch. If you're looking to lease something for your kid, I've got Jettas. College is coming up soon. Kids go back to school in August and September. Man, lease a Jetta for your kid now. They got free maintenance. If they don't want to pick up the slack and pay for that car, I know you don't want to pay for them in college and pay for the car. But man, after 3 years, the car's done. So that gets them through freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Senior year, it's on them. Get your own damn car. But you could at least send them off to school in a car that's not going to break down on them. They got free maintenance. They don't pay for gas, anything but gas, tires, and brakes on the car. They're not going to get speeding tickets in the Jetta. And it's fuel efficient. They're not going to go broke putting gas in it. So Jetta's going to be a great car. I know you mentioned Black Edition Atlas, maybe blacked out chrome for the Atlas and the SEL Premium R-Line. Doubtful. The SEL Premium R-Line kinda, it's the dog and pony show, and chrome is where Volkswagen's at with that. I wouldn't say no for sure, but doubtful. Doubtful that they'll do a blacked out SEL Premium R-Line. Although that would be a badass fork to have both. Have one that's blacked out and have one that's chrome. That would sell some cars. I want the 22 Jetta SEL for a first car. Well, the 2022 Jetta SEL, I'm sure there's a bunch of them out there. I've got a 2020 Jetta SEL on my lot, if you're interested in that. But the 2022, that's specific, but that's, let's see. I'm trying to think what that would have had that would have been different. The Jetta SEL would have been top of the line. There wouldn't have been a premium above that one for 2022. It's 2019, 2020, and 2021. I think there was a premium that was above the SEL. Let's see here. Wish I could have got my GTI from you, yeah, the Tiguan and the bus will be here this fall. Man, fly in, drive out. I'll pick you up at the airport. You come get a bus from me. While I'm speaking of the bus, too, if you know someone that's out there looking for a Buzz, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to order. We're not going to be able to order the Buzz like you could the ID4. ID4 was customer ordering platform. They're not going to do that again. It didn't go really well. It wasn't really efficient, and I don't think they're going to do that. It's just going to be allocation based. We're going to get cars allocated to us, and we kind of get what we get, and we'll have to trade. and earn stuff. ID7, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I think it's going to be more of the same. They're definitely not going to do ordering banks for that. And I am not, I'll say this. I am not too confident that the ID7 is going to be a velocity car. We're not going to sell a lot of those because it doesn't really land in a niche. Unless that car came in at 35 grand, 36 grand, or heavily incentivized or something like that. I just can't see it because that car is going to be a high 50s, low 60s priced car. And not everybody's got that kind of money. The Buzz is going to be the same way. Probably 60 something, starting in the 60s for the Buzz. But if you know someone who would like a Buzz and wants to be on my wait list, I charge a $500 deposit for that is fully refundable. But I've got three customers on my list for Buzzes. And I think that's just kind of how it's going to go. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm at 41 minutes here. I'm thinking I'm going to wind down here. I don't want to blow up all my information. Well, I have kind of blown up all my information, but I don't really have anything else. And if you guys don't have any questions there, I'm going to kind of wind it down. I did review everything there. New models, not really hearing anything else on new models. I would expect us to hear about a new model coming probably next year in 2025 as a 2026. I still believe that the GTI is going to be an electric vehicle in 2026. At least the Volkswagen's plans are right now. I kind of hope they back off of that. The GTI is an icon. I'd love for them to just keep that as an electric and maybe keep that as an ICE engine and bring an electric in as well, an electric engine as well, but just don't just go all electric on that car. That car's great. Let's see here. Yep, the 2025 Tiguan. Yep, it is. They're tweaking things, but it will be revealed at the LA Auto Show. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off of here. It looks like I've kind of worn out my welcome here today, guys. Thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great evening. All right, we'll talk to you next time.